say yes. It is a beautiful summer morning, and as I look out into the sky, the clear blue sky, as I look into the sunshine that is beaming down on us this morning, as I feel that cool breeze that envelops us as we just sit in the peace and the silence of the morning, I know that it is all God, that this God is all around us, wrapping us, each one of us, in this blanket of comfort and peace, this blanket of joy. I know that it is only love, that it is only love. And I am so grateful that I remember in all of these moments that each face that I encounter during the day is this beautiful expression of the love, the peace, the joy, the compassion, the wisdom, the beauty, the truth, all of the qualities that we call God. That we are here to manifest all of those qualities through our daily thoughts and activities. And that as I look upon each person, I know that God is manifesting through them, just as God is manifesting through me in each and every moment. And so what a glorious time to come together to celebrate the fact that we are a spiritual family, that no matter where we are, how near, how far, that we are always able to come together because we are always connected by that spirit of love. I celebrate this morning. I celebrate Reverend Leah's talk. I celebrate the musicians. I celebrate each heart and each hand, Brooke and Erica, who have come together to help us broadcast this. I celebrate the practitioners who are holding consciousness this morning and who are available after service for prayer. I celebrate each and every one of us who have come together this morning, knowing that we come together in the love of spirit, in the love of this community, in the love of everything that we experience together. And so just looking forward to more amazing music, more amazing ideas and sharing. I call it good. And I release this word knowing it is so, and we can say together, and so it is. Amen.
One, two, three.
We are the ones that
We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are. I am the one that I've been waiting for. I am the one who will make a difference. I am the one who will change the world. I am the one. I am the one. I am the one. Yes, we are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are.
Beautiful song. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Julie. That's an awesome Karen Drucker song. Thank you, thank you. So let's begin this morning by harmonizing our hearts and our minds. Let's take 3 deep breaths together. And let's repeat together: care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. So good morning, everyone. All month we've been talking about inclusion in action. That has been our theme for the month of August. We've talked about how life is better when we include everyone, and that oneness doesn't mean sameness. We've talked about choosing love over fear, and that when we love ourselves, it's a way of helping us to love others. We talked about color blindness versus color conscious, and the importance of being curious about the differences without judgment and accepting people rather than just simply tolerating them. And then Reverend Jenny last week shared that we are each a unique expression of the divine, and that each of us create this strong, beautiful, and amazing tapestry, weaving together all of our differences. We were meant to do life together, not alone. And this leads beautifully into this week's topic, we are. Those of you who are parents have likely witnessed children, your children, throwing tantrums from time to time because they didn't get what they wanted, or perhaps you're trying to get them to do something they don't want to do. I'm not a parent, but I've certainly witnessed the stress a parent feels when their child is spiraling downwards a bit and doing whatever it takes to de-escalate the situation. And you do your best as a parent to teach them the great life lesson that you can't always get what you want. But just because we're adults, it doesn't mean that we have fully learned this lesson. When in your life have you found yourself throwing a tantrum of sorts because you didn't get what you wanted, because you were asked to do something you didn't want to do, or someone perhaps doing something that you vehemently disagreed with, and you expressed your feelings in perhaps a not so nice way? Now, I realize that there are times when this is appropriate, when we need to express our feelings loudly and with great emotion in order to be heard. But I suspect that if you look back on those moments, that the expression and the feelings that were expressed could have been said a little differently. In the last few months, if you've been watching the news or following your feed on Facebook, you have witnessed some meltdowns from adults that have been pretty shocking. We've seen them related to Black Lives Matter and the uprising that is taking place. We've seen them during the pandemic relating to wearing masks. And we've seen it more recently with the Democratic and Republican national conventions. As we get closer to the election, people are expressing some hateful comments toward one candidate or another. I've never in my life, and I suspect this is true for all of us, never have I witnessed such incredible divisiveness, just downright meanness related to all of these topics. Mark Nepo said this: "We are at a basic crossroads between deepening the decency that comes from caring for each other and spreading the contagion of making anyone who is different into an enemy. And as history has shown through crusades and genocides and world wars, if we don't recognize ourselves in each other, we will consume each other." It appears as though we aren't coming together as a nation, but rather moving further apart. And it's devastating to witness. We label one person as bad and another as good. We look for evidence to prove that we are right about that viewpoint. And as we all know, what we focus on expands. We can always find more evidence that aligns with our particular viewpoint. And then that person or that situation is forever seen through that particular lens. And once that happens, they have no chance of being anything different in our mind and in our heart. As soon as we label someone, we cut off our connection to them and our ability to recognize them as us. I spoke 2 weeks ago about the importance of really seeing our differences and honoring the uniqueness. But we can get caught up in labels. And labels divide us and separate us. Black, white, liberal, conservative, spiritual, religious, Democrat, Republican. We can use these labels in a harmful and hurtful way at times. They can be used not to just simply say that we are different, but they are wrong for what they believe or for who they are. And we may not express our opinions outright, but if someone could read our energy, they would see it all over us. We may not go on Facebook and post a hateful post or stand on a street corner and shout our beliefs and our opinions about a certain political topic. But all of us have likely expressed some self-righteous energy that we may not even be aware of. I myself have had a few choice words to say about some things happening in the world that haven't sounded very ministerial-like at times. We've all done it. We've all had our human moments, so I'm not here to say that we should never have a negative thought or a negative expression. That's not realistic. But we need to take responsibility for our part in creating a world that works for everyone. We need to become aware of the energy behind our thoughts and our actions. Whatever candidate that you are in favor of, what do you find yourself saying about the opposing candidate? If you're someone who believes in the importance of wearing masks, what do you find yourself saying about those who refuse to wear masks? If you support Black Lives Matter, what do you find yourself saying about those who are against it, and vice versa? It's fine to disagree. It's fine to have a different viewpoint. But it's not what we say, it's how we say it. It's the energy behind it that creates the problem. And that's what we need to be aware of and take responsibility for. There will continue to be divisiveness as long as we stand here and say, I am right and you are wrong, or they are wrong, or my view is the right view and their view is the wrong view. Is it possible? Is it possible to remain in our heart while we listen to the opposite viewpoint of another? Can we listen with an open heart and an open mind? What needs to shift within you in order to be able to do that? If we're willing to listen with an open heart, a very interesting thing happens. Because we are so connected to each other, if we get quiet for a moment and tune in to our heart, we can sense that there is fear there. Underneath all the divisiveness is fear. Underneath the racist remarks and comments is fear. It's all fear. We're at a choice point between love and fear. And we can join those who operate from fear and self-righteousness, or we can move into our heart and unite with that divine, radiant energy that is there, and recognize that not only within ourselves, but within all beings. If we are willing to open our heart to this, we can have compassion for others who hold different views than we do. As spiritual beings, we were not designed to fight, to wage war, to condemn, to criticize, to judge. We have learned all of these things as humans. As spiritual beings, we were meant to lock arms with each and every person, claiming them as our brothers and our sisters. No matter the color of their skin, the religion they practice, the choices they make, or the views that they hold. If we truly desire peace in our lifetime, we have to begin to really practice radical acceptance and inclusion of all beings, even if their ideas and choices and practices and ways of being are different or opposite of ours. Until we can truly recognize everyone, and that means everyone, as our brothers and our sisters, we will never know peace in our lifetime. As our theme says, inclusion in action. That means not just simply saying it, but actually putting it into practice. It means having respect for those who feel differently than we do. It means taking a moment to imagine what it's like for the opposite side. How often do we make an attempt to try to understand someone else's viewpoint or belief? We can disagree without being mean and nasty and disparaging. We can do it with respect. We can do it with love. We can do it with compassion and with grace. John O'Donohue said this: when there are barriers creating distance between us, they are our barriers, not God's. God is like a light within the heart that nothing can extinguish. We are the love that God is. God is the love that we are. Spirit didn't create hate and divisiveness and evil. Humans created that. Spirit created each of us in its own image and imbued each of us with enormous potential. As we witness things in the world that creates sadness and despair and hopelessness and even anger, it generates something extraordinary within us. It actually helps us to give birth to something new. I believe that it's the separation and the divisiveness and the illness and the death and the isolation that has taken place over the last 6 months that has created the perfect combination of experiences that has generated an enormous desire for change. This is an energy that is rising up within each of us. I've had conversations with people lately who want to uncover their purpose, who want to find meaning in their life. A door is opening, a door that wasn't there before. And it's this time that we are in that's helping to give birth to that. It's up to us how we view what's happening in the world. We can see what's happening as the exact thing that is needed to wake people up, to create a path that wasn't there before, that wasn't possible before. Use the energy of this time to give birth to a new beginning for you, for your children, for your family, and for us as a spiritual community. And we need each other to do this. We weren't meant to do this alone. Mark Nepo said this: "We need every resource and example of heart and resilience we can find. It is both comforting and challenging to realize that no one person can wrestle from the earth the song of how we can survive together. And no one voice can sing that chorus. We need each other more than ever." We must commit to deepening our care and compassion for all beings, particularly those who are different than us and those who hold different views than us. We must continue to acknowledge our oneness and the divinity that we each are, not merely as an intellectual exercise, but to really embody it and know it deep within our bones. So much so that when someone is hurting, we can feel their pain, even if they are outside of our friends and our family and our spiritual community. We need to cultivate more love and more compassion within ourselves, because that is the healing salve that will transform our families and our communities and our world. Dr. Roger Teal said this: "As we activate the truth that this instant is love and feel it quickening in our heart, we deliver ourselves out of the trances of separation, worldly limitation, and ego-mindedness. We immerse ourselves in a solvent that progressively dissolves the years of distortions that placed love outside of ourselves, others, and each instant. We embrace the most essential healing of all and gain the capacity to become emissaries of love and oneness." And so let's activate this love within us. We are emissaries of love and oneness. What a beautiful statement. And it is the truth of who we are. We are angels for each other, helping each other and supporting each other along this journey called life. If you read your email this week, you know that we are moving out of our beloved space, our building. And as a way of honoring our building and the time that you all have been a part of it and spent time there, we are doing a ceremony outside of the building today from 1 to 3. You'll get an opportunity to share your gratitude, to release what needs to be released, and to create powerfully the future that you want to step into. And so given this change, it's a perfect time to declare who we are as a community. I'm going to read a declaration of who NTNC is that I wrote. It incorporates pieces of the talks throughout this month. And as I read it, I want you to be thinking about for yourself who we are as a spiritual family as a heart tribe? Who are we? And I want you to type your comments in, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, type in your comments. And I'm going to read those out loud in a little bit. We, New Thought Northern Colorado, are a community that honors and celebrates diversity and fosters inclusion. We are a community that is color conscious, which means we take time to discover what makes each person unique. We are a community that chooses love over fear and respects those who hold different viewpoints than ours, recognizing that despite our differences, each person is our brother and our sister. We are a community that sees the face of God in all beings and understands that oneness is not sameness. We are a community committed to doing the inner work necessary to create transformation within ourselves. We are a community woven together as a beautiful tapestry, lovingly committed to a world of acceptance, compassion, peace, and joy. That is who we are. So I'm now going to bring up Reverend Jenny and Reverend Barb, and I'm going to ask them to share their own thoughts about who we are as a community.
Thanks, Leah. So we are a spiritual family. This is what I think is so important to many of us in this congregation, that we have this bond, this connection, and that we treat each other with love and respect, just like family members do, hopefully. You know, and thinking about spiritual family got me to thinking about Moses. And as he led the Israelites, the Hebrew people, out of Egypt, and really how new that was for all of them. They were freed from everything that they had ever known. And what bravery did it take for them just to set out into the desert, to wander until they found their next spiritual home? They wandered for 40 years. Now, if you think of 2020, 20 plus 20 is 40, right? And it feels like what we've already lived is 40 years through this first 9 months, this first 8 months of 2020 is 40 years. But, you know, we are being freed from what we have known too as a spiritual family. But like the Israelites, we are taking that sense, that bond, that care, that compassion, that appreciation for one another as we all wander through these next few months, not really knowing where our next home will be, but knowing, like the Israelites did, that our home is always wherever we are, because we are a spiritual family, and we're a spiritual family that is grounded and connected by spirit. And knowing that, I know that we can be creative enough to come together to make this a joyous time, to make this a time where we explore all of the creative possibilities that are open before us. Because that is what we have before us, is possibility. I know that we each hold a vision of what NTNC means to us and what we want NTNC to be in the future. And so I just encourage all of us to hold on to that vision, to share that vision with one another, join in the things that we are offering this community to make connections. I know it's all online. I know we would all rather be together in person right now, but let's utilize what we have. Let's utilize what we have. And that is this amazing technology to stay connected and to share with one another what is in our hearts and what our vision for NTNC in the future as we go forward together looks like. So in the journal this week, I just thought it was so appropriate. because what I know that together as spiritual family, what we are is together we are stronger, together we are unbroken, and together we can do anything. Yes. Thank you.
Oh, so when these two asked me to talk about what I see as our spiritual family, I was thinking about it yesterday while we were working at the building and packing and undoing the walls and all those sorts of things. Reverend Jenny and I stood up on the stage for a moment and started talking about all of you, and because people are who they are, generally we know exactly where you sit. So we kind of stood there naming all of you in the room, in your places in that space, and so what I see in all of us is, I got this visual of the web, of Indira's web, stretched one to the other, and that there is no wall or time or space that actually can disconnect that we are absolutely connected, one, breathing the same air still together. And so what I see as I look around the room and I visualize each of you, is I see strength and compassion and sometimes sadness that is surrounded in arms of grace and love as we come together to be together in those things. I see joy. I see fierce mamas. I see like supportive, amazing fathers. I see grandparents who are just filled with love. I see uncles and aunts and cousins. I see our kids. I see freedom running out, waiting for me, always waiting for me to let him go to run up on the stage. I see our kids. I hear their voices talking about after camp last year, how it changed their life to be together in that experience, that they felt so accepted and so loved in this thing that we call spiritual community, which is, New Thought and Centers for Spiritual Living and all that we do together. And I just continue to see this web as we weave together through this time. We're not apart in this time at all. We continue to be joined together by our spiritual practice, by our love for one another, by our respect for the world, by our kindness and our compassion and our love for our kids and our love for our grandparents and our care for one another through this time. And I can't wait to see you in 3D this afternoon. Like, even with a mask and even standing apart, I know that we are heart connected, and it will be so good to look in your eyes and say hello and know that we are moving forward together into whatever the next greatest expression of New Thought Northern Colorado is. Because we can't be anything else but the next greatest evolution and expression. That is how this universe works, the upward and outward expansion of consciousness and awareness and love for each other. That's all I got.
Thank you both. Being the newest member of this team and of this community, I feel such gratitude in my heart listening to you both share, and such a blessing to be here sharing this time with you all and being a part of this incredible community that I know is going to move forward into amazing and extraordinary things. Thank you. So I'm going to read some of the comments that have come in, and if you'd like to add more, feel free to do that. So I'm going to work my way down here. So let's see. This is kind of fun. We've not done this before, where we've incorporated all of you into our talk. So we will likely do this again. So who are we? We are a community that is one. We are there to celebrate the good times and support each other in life challenges. We hold a higher consciousness for a world of peace and exuberant joy. What a blessing to be with you all. Okay, I'm just reading my way down. Thank you, Catherine. We are the anchor of loving kindness in a sea that can seem so turbulent. Yes. Okay, we are the calm. Oops. We are the calm in the eye of the storm. We are on the road less traveled and committed to expressing the divine in this world. Yes, indeed. We are the great comparison of the Israelites being led to a new place, physically and spiritually. Love that. Okay, we are nomadic emissaries of light, cosmically connected by love. Wow, beautiful, beautiful. And we are holding each other up always. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you. So many beautiful things expressed. And I am knowing that all of these words, the vibration of these words are washing over us, are surrounding each of us, are connecting us, one heart, one soul to the other, no matter where we are on this planet right now. I am knowing that we are forever connected. We are one. We are that spiritual family, always connected and always filled with that love and that light that is God, that is spirit. And I'm knowing that these words are being planted like seeds that are carrying us forward into great new possibilities for this community. Although we are saying goodbye to the current building that we are in, the building does not define who we are. Our community, our heart, our love, our light, the spirit that is each of us is who we are. And all of the beautiful memories that Barb was alluding to and Jenny was alluding to, all of that is who we are. And we take that with us wherever we go. No matter where we are, it goes with us. And so with such gratitude in our hearts, such light and joy and love within our hearts, we say thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to come together. Thank you for being drawn to this community. For each of us, at one point or another, we're led here, we're guided here. For it was designed to help us to shift our consciousness, to help us to grow, to help us to evolve. That this community has given each of us an extraordinary blessing and continues to bless our lives as we move forward together. And so I ask you now to imagine each of us holding each other's hand, standing in a large circle, holding each other's hand and just looking into each other's eyes, the person on the left, the person on the right, and giving each other a little squeeze with our hands. And knowing that that love and that light that is in our heart goes out down our arms and into our hands and goes around that entire circle, providing a container of love, of safety, of joy, of peace, of harmony, of grace. That is who we are. We are held, we are supported, we are guided, we are love. We are one family, now and always. And so I let this go, and I trust, absolute trust. Absolutely, we trust that spirit has our back. That spirit is right there with each of us, individually and collectively as one spiritual family. And so we let it go. We let it be. And we ground it in together by saying, and so it is. Amen.